You have to be vibrating at a high vibration before you start the manifestation process.
Whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest, you speak to it as though it's already happened.
Okay, I like that.
I used a lot of these affirmations to manifest my dream career, my dream life, my dream financial situation. Money is constantly seeking me. I get paid to exist. Wealth is my birthright.
What we are doing now is we are actually activating the law of thought transmission. We're going to be transmuting our thoughts into their mind. I know it's crazy, but it literally works because this is the law of assumption.
As you know, I teach people that they create their own reality with their minds.
Manifestation has become significantly popular in recent decades due to new thought teachings like the law of attraction. This is still wildly popular in our culture. And according to one article, Gen Z is apparently obsessed with manifesting their way to riches and romance. So let's read it. Manifestation is the idea that thoughts can become things. It's a spiritually creative process where you use the power of your thoughts and feelings and words to create your reality. Practically speaking, this involves living, feeling, speaking, and believing that you have whatever you're trying to manifest right now. It's not something that's coming in the future. In other words, you have to believe you have it now and believe it without any doubt. Many people, including Christians, believe that manifestation is true. Maybe they've learned it from somebody, whether it's a self-help book, maybe a show that they're watching, a TikToker.
I get paid to exist.
And many people think that it's in the Bible or something. Yet ironically, manifestation when it comes to beliefs is closer to the occult than it is to the Bible. For a successful manifestation experience, you surround yourself with positivity. Maybe make a vision board, repeat positive affirmations, which are I am statements that help you manifest your reality. Now, manifestation and the law of attraction are new thought beliefs. I've written a book about the new thought movement and have an entire chapter about the law of attraction and affirmations. So I won't be going into a lot of detail here because today what I want to do is talk about this article and this growing manifestation trend that's really not going anywhere. I had a friend message me this article and it immediately piqued my interest because not only does it show that the law of attraction and manifestation are just as popular as it was 20 years ago, but it's a growing popularity even in the Christian church. I think it's really important to highlight this sort of thing, especially on a secular level, so Christians can draw the line from this practice of manifestation and what it looks like.
So the name of God is I am. Every time you use the word I am and you say I am weak, I am poor, I am so, that's blasphemy because the highest place within you is called I am. And so I just say I am well, I am content, I am peaceful.
And how some Christians will try to use this and claim that it's a Christian concept when it's really not.
Whatever you follow the I am with, you're handing it an invitation. You get to choose what follows the I am.
I am prosperous. I am wise. I am healthy. I am in shape.
Or even worse, they'll take this belief of manifestation and the law of attraction and say, oh, that's the counterfeit. There's an authentic version of this in the Christian church. No, guys, you cannot redeem occultic beliefs. You divorce them. It's a commandment in scripture. Like, you don't go into the occult to become a more powerful Christian. You leave the occult to become a more humble and obedient one. So I'm going to read this article and I'm going to give some commentary along the way that I think will be helpful and hopefully will show you how and why manifestation is just not what it seems to be, even if you've gotten results from it. All right, so this is from Business Insider. It was written in November of 2024. The title is Gen Z is obsessed with manifesting their way to riches and romance. All right, and starting the article, Sarah Pearl, really pretty name, who goes by the TikTok handle Hot High Priestess.
Wealth is my birthright.
Says she has a successful career and relationship because she manifested both of them. Many of her recent posts focus on manifesting love, and they're particularly aimed at young women who want romantic relationships with men. The 23-year-old Los Angeles resident talks to her viewers about how they can manifest a text back from a guy within 24 hours.
Warning, only do this method if you want that person to come crawling after you, be so obsessed with you.
Sometimes she even manifests the aim of her videos. I am manifesting that this video only reaches the people that are on the brink of the greatest up level of their entire life. She says in one post that it has more than 1 million views.
I am manifesting that this video only reaches the people that are on the brink of the greatest up level of their entire life. So if this video found you, get ready. Life's about to get so good.
All right, so I checked out Miss Sarah Pearl on TikTok, and she has a massive following. But I also watched a few of her videos. And oh my, are they incredibly repetitive. It's like wash, rinse, repeat with a lot of the stuff that she's teaching and saying. And also, fun fact, I didn't realize this until I saw the name in the research for my book about the New Thought movement. I bought her book. I mean, I'd go get it and find it for you, but that's not gonna happen. If you guys saw the situation that my books are in right now. But I remember reading it as one of many, many books to compare the New Thought authors' manifestation techniques and modern manifestation techniques, and they are one and the same. In fact, she quotes a few New Thought authors like Neville Goddard. He's like one of the biggest people that are quoted in these circles. You have Napoleon Hill. And all of these people are New Thought authors that are still informing TikTokers today. That is wild to me. That is just wild. Also, the other thing to think about with this is that, okay, what she just said about, people that are coming to her video and, I'm manifesting this video that whoever's watching it right now, you're about to have the biggest breakthrough of your life. A lot of her videos on TikTok are like that, and they do indeed have millions of views. But I'm watching her video. If she's correct, then that must mean that I'm on the brink of the greatest level of my entire life, because this video reached me. Did she manifest that, or did I watch it on my own free will? Not only this, if what she's saying about manifestation is true, then that means she manifested this video that you're watching right now, because she is somehow bringing me into her reality to do commentary on manifestation and her manifestation videos. All right, so let's keep reading here. She's not just saying that to the universe. She's feeding the TikTok algorithm, which likely sends her content to other young women. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. There's an incentive to teach this stuff, but more on that in just a second. To her, manifestation and the code powering TikTok are inextricably entwined. That was hard to say. Inextricably entwined. Obviously, the algorithm is going to work its magic, says Pearl, who has amassed 2.5 million followers since 2020 and also offers paid online courses on manifesting. I looked at these online courses. They're like really expensive. They are hundreds of dollars. I mean, think of the amount of money she's making from this. I view manifesting almost like the For You page, where you put your attention is where your life will end up going. If you dwell on negative content, that's what they'll be fed. But if they like videos with a positive outlook, TikTok may give them more. So 2 things on this. Number 1, yes, it pays to be positive online. Ask any MLM owner. There is a world, a culture that's very, very toxic when it comes to teaching techniques that will teach you how to be healthy and wealthy. That's a really good way to get rich. And whenever you're teaching people about manifestation, something very important to know about this practice is that it really has a lot to do with your mind and controlling what you're thinking about. If you're not allowed to think negatively, which is thinking critically is seen as thinking negatively, by the way, then you're not really thinking about what's not coming into your reality by what you're manifesting. So women like Pearl, who also do a lot of new age things on her channel, by the way. She does tarot card readings and she does a few other things that would be considered more new age. But whenever you have this audience and they're captivated with this magic spell that you're teaching them, and part of that magic spell is, hey, don't think negative. How are you going to manifest if you're not believing you already have it, which constantly keeps you in a mindset of believing you have something that you don't have, which is kind of delusional. But you're taught that's how you manifest. So thinking otherwise, thinking the opposite, is seen as repelling your manifestation. It's not going to work for you if you do that. Do you see the mind tricks here? And not only that, hey, buy my course. You're going to have so much more success if you buy my course. Oh, by the way, here, I bought this manifestation journal. It's guaranteed to work. I promise you it'll work. And then you look at the comments and all the comments are like, yeah, it worked for me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this worked. And the other thing she's talking about manifesting is a boyfriend. How to have somebody contact you back immediately. How to make them obsessed with you. There's a lot of ethical issues with that, but imagine this for just a second. How does this make her boyfriend feel? How would you feel if your boyfriend or girlfriend basically said that they used mind power to make you attracted to them? Oh, I used the power of my mind to make you obsessed with me. Here, drink this Kool-Aid real quick. Don't ask questions. Just drink it. Boy, you don't know it, but I manifested that text message from you. You're welcome. I mean, what planet do we live on where we think that we can control somebody's free will? Now, she's not the only one this article talks about. I'm kind of, using a lot of my commentary on her that apply to others. But beyond this, beyond her, there's a ton of influencers doing this who seem really, really sketchy. This tells me that this is a huge moneymaker for people who teach this stuff. If you're going up to somebody and you're telling them that, hey, you found the secret to health and wealth, and to know that secret, it will only cost you $500. Doesn't that seem like a good deal? And then imagine that you're not just telling this to one person, but millions. You're going to say that you manifested those millions, and you can tell them how to do the same thing with the power of their mind. Of course, it's going to make you rich. This is literally the formula for a lot of self-help gurus. Okay, let's continue on with the article here. Pearl is one of many influencers who specialize in manifestation, the idea that positive thinking and visualization can bring people closer to their goals. Manifestation began in the 19th century New Thought movement. I am genuinely impressed that this article rightly describes manifestation as being New Thought and not New Age. Because yes, as we know it in our country and how it's practiced, demonstrable New Thought teaching. Demonstrable. All right, let's keep reading. Begin with the 19th century New Thought movement and does have a kernel of truth to it. Our thoughts can, in part, shape our reality. I agree with that. 100%. This is just reality, though, that our attitude and the way that we look at things 100% can really help us deal with certain situations. But there's no wiggity whack stuff that's happening when I decide to not be a jerk. There is no magic mind happening when I wake up one day and I think, man, I'm kind of hangry. I should probably eat before I talk to people. And so I'm not completely negative today. It's not like a magic mind science when you figure out, oh, there's wisdom in thinking before I speak or controlling how much I complain. It's just reality. So yeah, there is a kernel of truth in that. Totally. But that is not what manifestation is. Manifestation is the belief that your thoughts literally have a magnetic, vibrational frequency to them that creates the universe around you.
Every single person is living in what we call a superposition of potential. Whatever you want to be good at, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to accomplish, you speak it into existence and you speak with confidence and power. And never, ever, ever speak bad about yourself.
So yeah, it is a little wiggity whack. All right, let's keep reading. The latest trend has gained traction since the height of the pandemic. No surprise there. But modern manifesting remains a broad term covering a range of practices. It can cover meditating and journaling as part of a spiritual practice, as well as posting memes about achieving great fortune. And then she names a few pop stars like Ariana Grande who have professed beliefs about the power of manifesting. There are many celebrities that practice law of attraction, affirmations, and manifestation. Online, the trend is owned predominantly by Gen Z women. They use social media and self-help apps and even artificial intelligence to manifest romance, financial stability, career success, and cozy homes. These are all things that for generations have felt out of reach for many young people, but perhaps none more than Gen Zers, whose high school and college years were further destabilized by the pandemic. They're facing a glut. Is that short for gluttony? Glut. I've never heard that used before. A glut of algorithmic-driven dating apps, a tumultuous housing market, and loads of uncertainty about the future. Some faceless TikTok accounts even encourage people to like or share their posts in order to find love, farming engagement the way millennials once shared email chains, threatening years of bad luck. Remember that? If you don't send this to 10 people, then your mom will step on a crack and break her back. For Gen Z, the divide between the divine and the digital can be razor thin. So I'm reading this, and the only thing I could think of is that you have these people online who are very, very rich because they are exploiting other people's struggles. If you want to be rich, if you want romance, oh, we've been through this horrible thing called the pandemic, and so did everybody else, but let's just forget about them. I mean, it's about us. We need more of everything. We need better romance. We need better money. I mean, yeah, Gen Z is a little different because they have a lot more digital stuff in their face. And TikTok is just no help in this regard. TikTok is a cesspool when it comes to this. And it feeds them and it gives them the things that they think will help them be successful. And it sounds really, really good. Believe me, I used to believe in these things. And I can see how somebody would think that this is a very, very powerful process to succeed in your romantic life, but also in your finances. And if you're sick, well, here's a great way to feel better. And oh, there's science to this or something. People eat this up. Gen Z may be the least religious generation in American history. In a 2021 survey from the Survey Center on American Life, 34% of Gen Zers said they had no religious affiliation, compared with 29% of millennials and 18% of baby boomers. This isn't surprising either. I did a video not too long ago about Gen Z and how they're looking to a lot more occultic beliefs to fulfill them. But as we'll see, this is unsustainable. I think that as they get older and wiser and see that this doesn't work, but this only works in the short term, I think that there will be a lot of lessons learned in that. Time is the best tattletale. So these statistics aren't very surprising considering that people want to distance themselves from being religious. But that doesn't mean they're not spiritual. You have the progressive Christian movement. You have the spiritual but not religious. You have all of these new age, new thought, metaphysical Christianity beliefs, manifestation and law of attraction being just one of them, that are booming everywhere and in the Christian church. So I think that there's this need and want for these more pragmatic spiritualities that seem to work, but they come with their own set of problems. Young people are also turning to older platforms, re-envisioning them as places for manifestation. Gen Zers now make up Pinterest's largest cohort, accounting for about 40% of active users. Searches for romantic manifestation, for example, have increased 17-fold from last year, and posts related to love scrapbooking are up 250%. That's a lot of scrapbooking. What is love scrapbooking? What is this, like a vision board thing? Hold on, stand by. Okay, there's a manifestation scrapbook. and vision boards, of course. A love scrapbook kit just seems to be for couples, but it also seems to be used for manifestation, for romance. So remember, in manifestation, you want to live like it's your life. So if you want to be married, if you want to be in a romantic relationship, well, then you live like you're in a romantic relationship. So you make a love scrapbook of you and a romantic partner that you're trying to manifest. But you don't think of it like you're trying to manifest. You think of it like, oh, this is my life now. And the idea is that the divine mind, God, the universe, has to bring that to you according to these laws of thought where it must manifest in your world. That's how they see it. All right, so I learned something new. I know what a love scrapbook is. I don't know how I feel about knowing this new knowledge. Users are also searching for financial empowerment. Not surprising. Searches for lots of money aesthetic are up 953% year over year. What's a lots of money aesthetic? What is this thing? Am I really this old? Hold on. You know, back in my day, we had to go to a encyclopedia to know things. And we weren't looking up stuff like this. We were looking up like what monkeys were. Okay, money aesthetic. I just see a bunch of pictures of people holding tons of money. Okay, so it's a money aesthetic. I get it. Okay, so something else really important to understand about manifestation and the New Thought movement in general is that your thoughts are powerful, but so are your feelings and emotions. You can only think so much, but you have to feel it. And the feeling is very powerful. So the money aesthetic makes sense in a really twisted way because you need to feel like that money is yours. You're holding that money. 953%. That's insane. Sydney Standback. What a name. A global trends and insights lead at Pinterest says that young people using the internet to envision their futures are bringing a new level of warmth to these platforms. I'm sure they're bringing a new level of money to your platform, Mr. Standback. I'm sure that he's going to see this in a positive light. It's allowing that kind of spirituality that exists in real life to be transferred over to these spaces, he says. They're using Pinterest to craft a world in which they want to live in, and they're going out and acting on it. I mean, yes, it does exist in real life. And I'll get into more of the spiritual side versus the unethical and kind of scamish side of it. Sometimes they can dance together, all right? I mean, you have people that really believe these things, and then you have other people that are just making a lot of money and don't care if it works or not. Shanna Watkins sees her manifestation journey similarly. There would be no manifesting for me in the way that I do now that's super effective without technology. She's a 28-year-old in Dallas who works as a public relations and communications manager at AT&T. You mean she's not a millionaire? You mean she doesn't own her own business? Drives a Ferrari? I mean, I'm just saying, AT&T manager just seems a little lame. Raised Christian, Watkins began questioning aspects of faith and eventually discovered more about manifesting on YouTube. Hey, tubes. You know, the tubes of you is quite useful, I might add. I mean, my video is about manifestation. She should click on my video. This video is about manifestation. In fact, if somebody believes in manifestation and clicks on this video, that means that you manifested it. So there's your Uno reverse card for the day. Now she uses a personal growth app called Mind Valley and writes affirmations in her notes app on her phone. I actually know of Mind Valley. I just found them on Instagram. I'm kind of checking them out a little bit. But also something else to point out about her being raised Christian. It doesn't surprise me that she's attracted to these kinds of beliefs if she got somehow disillusioned with Christianity. A lot of people that are attracted to control and personal power are very much attracted to progressive Christianity and New Thought beliefs. And some of them just veer all the way off into New Age, where maybe they dance those two dances together, where they're New Age and New Thought, maybe progressive, and they just kind of mix it together. Unfortunately, that doesn't surprise me. Also, she says that she writes down affirmations. I've talked about affirmations before. The law of attraction, manifestation, and affirmations, they all dance together when it comes to this. The reason why you can manifest is because of the law of attraction. And one of the practical ways to manifest is done through affirmations, which are I am statements. Remember, they're said in the now, but another word for affirmations are new thought prayers. They're metaphysical prayers that are used to manipulate the frequencies and vibrations, the reality around you, to manifest into your reality. It helps you believe it, in other words. That, of course, makes sense to me of why she would use affirmations. She also says she has jotted down notes about her dreams and asked ChatGPT to analyze their contents. I mean, okay. She says she found the generative AI chatbots read reliable, summarizing feelings she was having that might have been represented in the dreams. Tools like this, she says, can be another channel for my inner being and my consciousness to speak to me and send messages. Okay, I'm laughing about the ChatGPT, but the way that she ended this paragraph actually kind of makes sense to me in her perspective. Something else important to understand about New Thought, a core belief that your inner person, the true, authentic version of you, your true self, is divine. So when she says it's another channel for my inner being and consciousness to speak to me, there is a divinity within that gives us our spiritual knowledge. Because the divine is from within, that's where we receive spiritual messages through our feelings and emotions. If whatever you're manifesting is in your reality, it doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT or your neighbor or anybody else that's giving you the information, because somehow it's getting relayed to you in your reality. So if she's reading a ChatGPT to analyze her dreams, to her, that is her inner being manifesting that information to her so that she can believe it as true and real. I have a whole chapter about true authentic self, the feelings, identity, because for them, you're not just talking to them. Say that you disagree with them. Say that you're coming up to them and you're trying to tell them that whatever it is that they're experiencing may not be what they think it is. It's not just an experience for them. It's not that you're just coming up against them as a person. You're coming up against what they believe to be divine. You're coming up against what they believe to be God. So you're against God. Like, it gets really twisted, you guys. We're almost done with the article here. The loose definition of manifesting means there are no rules or standards around it. The whole manifestation buzzword and how it's being thrown around so loosely, I do think it can be harmful, says Emily McDonald, a mentor and coach with a large following on Instagram and TikTok who has studied neuroscience. I do agree with her. It can be a buzzword and obviously can be harmful. New Thought loves to misuse science and the Bible to get you to believe occultic beliefs. And there are a lot of people out there who claim to be scientists, especially neuroscientists or quantum scientists or physicists or whatever, who believe in a lot of this New Thought stuff. And it seems like that it gives it legs. It seems like it gives it some sort of validity when you say it's scientific, okay? So she studied neuroscience. To her, manifestation is rooted in neuroscience and about rewiring your brain to perceive a reality that's aligned with the things you want. To do so means setting intentions and visualizing outcomes, not just having a thought and expecting it to come true. There's a thin line between sharing the power of positive thinking and visualization and selling a get-rich-quick scheme. Researchers at the University of Queensland in Australia found that people who said they practiced manifesting were more likely to see themselves as successful and hopeful that they could achieve success in their future. Well, of course they are. I mean, that's the point. They have to see themselves as successful and hopeful. I don't think it takes deep research to figure that out. But back to this neuroscience for just a second. She said it's about rewiring your brain to perceive a reality. So many times there will be claims that you can rewire your mind, like it's, again, mind magic. That's kind of the way that I'll put that, is that you can rewire your brain, and your brain, your mind, are two different things. So your brain you can rewire, but then it affects your mind, and your mind has power, which can be relayed out into the universe. So if you're rewiring your brain, you're rewiring your reality. Part of that is science. Absolutely, you can rewire your brain. People that struggle with anxiety, for example, there's a lot of exposure that you got to do to teach your brain to calm down in certain situations, which requires a relearning of your brain of certain things. That's science. There is no demon attached to that, and there is no spiritual aspects of the universe that are affected by that. That is literally a brain thing that needs to be worked out and worked through. There is science to rewiring your brain, but there is no spirit science to it in that regard. Do I think there's spiritual warfare? Absolutely, 100%. But I need to differentiate those two from what she's saying here. Okay, so back to what we were saying here about the researchers. They said that people who practiced manifesting were more likely to see themselves as successful and hopeful that they could achieve success in the future, but they were also more likely to seek out risky investments, to think they could reach success quickly, and even to have gone through bankruptcy. So a lot of times this is just unsustainable. When you keep teaching about manifestation and visualization, and you're teaching people how to become successful through those techniques, you're in essence not exactly teaching life skills about how to think well, how to save your money, how to be a likable person in a relationship. You're teaching them how to use your mind to get what you want, and that you deserve it. You're worth it, babe. Go get them. Go manifest that man into your life. Go get those riches. Go get those millions. I mean, it's no wonder that that is a possible outcome for people who believe and practice in these things. All right, this is the last few sentences here. Whether or not you believe manifesting works isn't really the point. People who engage with this content on social media or use tools to manifest better futures for themselves are trying to act in a world where money and love feel out of their control. That's the key word here, control. They want support in their lowest times and even at their highest times. In this social media post-COVID world, people want a sense of control in their lives. It will take more than a manifestation to attain it. I think this was a pretty good article, very interesting to read, and it has caused me to go into the cesspool of TikTok a little bit more than I would have planned this week. Now, there are two things that I want to close with this article. One is the more sketchy part of it. The people that are making money from this that may not be the most ethical people, and the spiritual aspect to this. Because there are people that are going to say that manifestation and law of attraction is just, it's toxic positivity and people are manipulating others to give them money, and it's just a fad, it's a fraud. And I actually don't believe that that's entirely the case. When it comes to the spiritual aspect of New Age, New Thought, whatever it is, whatever spirituality it is, I 100% believe there is a spiritual world out there that is good and not good. There are mandates, biblical mandates that are given to humanity about the spiritual world. God is saying, hey, don't go dabble in these things. Stay away from them. Deuteronomy 18 is a great chapter to read about this. Look, let's read it. All right, Deuteronomy 18, starting in chapter 9. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not learn to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there, the pagan nations. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire. This is what those people were doing, killing their own children. All right, so do not sacrifice your own child in the fire. Let no one practice divination or sorcery, interpret omens, or engage in witchcraft, or cast spells, or anyone who is a medium or spiritist or consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. You must be blameless before the Lord your God. And then you have in Acts 19, a very significant thing that happens. Let's read it starting in verse 13. So it's Acts 19, verse 13. Some Jews who went around driving out evil spirits tried to invoke the name of the Lord Jesus over those who were demon-possessed. They would say, in the name of the Jesus whom Paul preaches, I command you to come out. One day, the evil spirit answered them, Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? It's kind of creepy. Then the man who had the evil spirit jumped on them and overpowered them all. He gave them such a beating that they ran out of the house naked and bleeding. When this became known to the Jews and Greeks living in Ephesus, they were all seized with fear, and the name of the Lord Jesus was held in high honor. Many of those who believed now came and openly confessed what they had done. Verse 19, a number who had practiced sorcery brought their scrolls together and decided to sift through them and see, what kind of good spiritual things can we take from this and use for the church? How do we Christianize these things? It's just being misused. Oh, wait, no, that's not what it says. Oh, that's right. They burned them. When they calculated the value of the scrolls, the total came to 50,000 drachmas. So these are just two different areas in scripture where we're talking about practices that are demonic, that aren't seen as redeemable. You don't redeem these practices just because they work. You can't look at this and think, oh, wow, that spirit medium over there, man, they got something good going on. I mean, you can't look at occultic practices like manifestation, the law of attraction, and think, wow, that works. That person got healed, and they're not even a Christian. They must have some sort of power that really belongs to us. Let's go redeem it. God said that those things aren't just, he disapproves of them. He says that they are detestable to him. There's a few reasons for this. One, it's idolatry, plain and simple. The article ends with having like a sense of control, right? And that's really what it is. I believe that human beings want control and power. We want God's power. And I think this is one reason why a lot of ex-New Agers are really attracted to like word of faith, prosperity teachers and the hyper-charismatic world, because it offers this same spiritual power that they had in the New Age. They don't see it that way though. They see it as like a Christianized version of it. And these teachers and leaders are teaching that's what it is. And I do not believe that that is biblical, and it will deceive you. And that's the other reason why God says to avoid these things, is that, yeah, it's detestable to him because of idolatry, but also because it will deceive you. His grace is sufficient. We don't need any of this. Jesus is enough. The other thing is that people believe this stuff because they get results. And I was a Christian believing in the law of attraction, manifestation. I even wanted to invoke my own spirit guide. I dabbled with some things that I should not have dabbled with and had some pretty crazy things happen. But even then, I feel like the Lord was protecting me. I really felt like I had to try a little harder than most people to have like a manifestation experience or whatever it was. And now I just see it as his covering, his protection. But those doors should not even be knocked on. So yes, there is a spiritual element to this, but it's not because the occult isn't shiny and fancy and alluring to people, it's because it does work. That's the trap. Occultic beliefs and practices are supposed to work. Otherwise, why would you be attracted to them at all if they didn't work? I had an ex-New Ager friend say this just this last week, so it's fresh in my mind. But the way that he put it was that when people are dabbling with these teachings and beliefs, you are playing with spiritual technology that you should not be playing with. All right, so those are just some thoughts on the spiritual aspect of this. On the other side, you have people who are just straight out scammers. And I think that there's a mixture of this when it comes to the online community, especially TikTok. You get really rich really fast teaching these techniques. There is a financial incentive to teach these things, and you want people to believe that it works. And let's just take this hot high priestess. I looked into her, and I looked into her workshop, I looked into her teachings, I looked into her TikTok account, and there's some scammy things going on. For as many followers as she has, a lot of people feel very scammed about her teachings and methods and her workshops. They don't believe that it works at all, but you kind of have to stay on that hamster wheel. And they wonder if she even believes it. That's a little bit of speculation on my part, but without a doubt, there are people out there that will take advantage of people that are desperate for their healing or a relationship, to be loved, for money. And if you are told that you are a powerful being and you can manifest riches and romance into your life, and you become obsessed with it, well, that's a formula to make somebody really rich and to make you very disillusioned. If you're watching this, and maybe you don't completely agree with me, I'm, first of all, very glad that you're watching this and that you're here, truly. The fountain of water that you're looking for, the end game that you're looking for, is not found in a few affirmations or visualization techniques. It's found in Jesus and Jesus alone. He is the end game. He is the living water. He is the bread of life. You will spiritually hunger and spiritually thirst no more when you rely on him. And it's beautiful. The beauty of this is everything. He takes that burden off of you. He takes you off the hamster wheel. It may not be easy to do because it certainly isn't popular, but it is everything you are looking for. He is the only one who can make you whole. Saying that in the mirror over and over and over again, I am whole, I am whole, I am perfect, doesn't make it true. He is whole, he is perfect, and he is the one, the only one who can make you whole. So those are my thoughts on this topic and this article, but what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I missed something? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.